Today we're going to be introducing Microsoft 365 Lighthouse for managed service providers. Here we're building a solution that's focused on enabling partners to effectively manage small and medium-sized businesses. My name's Chris Boyd. I'm a Principal PM Manager focused on the set of experiences that we're developing for Lighthouse. Today I'm joined with Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna Kinney. I'm also a Principal Program Manager at Microsoft. The agenda for this session is to go through our focus, give you a sneak peek at Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, and then let you know how you can get further involved in the development of Microsoft 365 Lighthouse.
We realize the world has changed in the last few months for both you and your customers. As partners, you're really on the front line of much of this change, transitioning customers to remote work while addressing IT complexity and increased cybersecurity threats. We believe this world does present an opportunity to accelerate a customer's digital transformation and to focus on elevating the security in a remote work environment. We want to double down even more so in making sure we leverage this time by empowering you to scale and manage your costs even more moving forward. Our team was created about a year ago and has a responsibility to drive the growth in Microsoft 365 in small and medium business. Our specific accountability is to deliver management and security experiences for this customer segment. Partners are the small and medium businesses' trusted advisor. In the past year, we've spent a lot of time with small businesses and their partners, particularly managed service providers, to really understand what we need to do to help you and your customers and drive to more success. One of the things we heard loud and clear is the importance of removing friction in how you manage your business and how are you able to scale across all your customers and grow your business. So one of the key investments that we are making is in a new solution that we're calling Microsoft 365 Lighthouse. You can certainly draw an analogy with the Azure Lighthouse for those of you that are familiar with this offering. It's a service that launched last year and focuses on empowering MSPs to manage their Azure customers at scale. And the metaphor here is that we want to do the same thing for the Microsoft 365 portfolio. Microsoft 365 Lighthouse lets service providers deliver managed services at scale for all their customers with higher standardization, higher automation, and auditing. I'm sure you're familiar with Partner Center. It's the one-stop UI shop and APIs that enable you to manage your relationship with Microsoft and resell Microsoft offers as part of the CSP program. Our focus is on once you've sold these solutions is to help you deploy, manage, and monitor and support at scale the Microsoft 365 services that you've sold. We made the decision right from the start that we wanted to make the investments in the small and medium segment in partnership with customers and partners. With that, I'd like to transition to introduce you to some partners that have worked with us in the co-design process.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Ben Green with Green Information Systems, an IT consulting company located in the Seattle area.
Hi, my name is Willem Ellemeet. I'm CEO of Wilbert Leidsma. We are a Dutch-based MSP focused on the SMB market space.
Hi, I'm Hope. I work at Palmetto Technology Company in Greenville, South Carolina.
Also getting information that's important and relevant to our team boiled up to the surface has been a difficult prospect for us.
As an MSP, we're interested in standardization and automation of whatever we do. And then what you see is, of course, that once it becomes multi-tenant, we really get the tools which we need to do that automation in a sensible way.
Next, let me turn it over to my colleague, Chris. He's going to give you the sneak peek we promised you.
Through a number of conversations that we've had with our partner community, we've realized there's an opportunity to really help the technicians in their day-to-day activities. These are the folks that are helping the SMBs work through issues like password resets or setting up a team site around a new big collaborative initiative. They're doing this while also remotely monitoring and managing the health and security of all the devices and services across the SMBs they take care of. We really feel there's an opportunity to provide them a solution that works cross-tenant to discover and resolve issues and also help them maintain standards and to secure the environments in a consistent way. So this is the reason why we've decided to initially focus in on the technician, and over time we'll expand out to further personas. Thinking about Lighthouse and a set of fundamentals that have to be supported across the stories that we will support for the technician, we think about these three things: security, scale, and automation. Security is really providing a way for the technician to look across the set of organizations that they're managing at a broad scope and being able to seamlessly administer an individual customer tenant on behalf of that organization. Of course, we want to make this in such a way that it's clearly audible and that the actions performed by the technician are traceable. The second thing that we're thinking through a lot is scale, and how can we help the partners scale their business? And we really feel when it regards to the technician, this can be done through a couple things. One, through the simplification of common tasks. For example, that password reset today could require multiple steps in order to just get a single user's password reset. We want to provide a seamless experience where it's quick to discover the user that needs their password reset and get them unblocked so they continue with their day. The third piece, automation, is all around how the partners can take M365 Lighthouse and integrate it with the other tools that they use day in and day out to manage SMBs. We know it takes a portfolio of tools to be successful here, and we want M365 Lighthouse to be part of that story and to be truly integrated with all the other tools that are happening or being used across those partners. Thinking a little bit about our focus areas, or our initial focus areas for M365 Lighthouse, it really breaks down into 4 key areas. First is device compliance. This is really about enabling the partner to set standards on the devices that are accessing the resources within these SMBs. It allows the partner to set such things as a requirement around BitLocker being enabled, or certain password lengths, or the version of the OS, the minimum version of the OS, and then having devices that are starting to access those resources to be evaluated against those policies. M365 Lighthouse will provide visibility across all the devices they're managing and how they're getting evaluated against these device compliance policies so that the technician can take action when a particular device isn't meeting the standards that have been set. We'll also provide tools to drive consistency across the SMBs so they can do comparisons around how one organization has set up policies against another particular organization. And this will really help the partners to drive consistency and to be able to scale their business. The next story that we're focused on is really around threat protection, and in particular AV. We really want to help the technician understand how Microsoft Defender is running across all the Windows devices that they're managing. We want to give visibility through a single pane of glass on, is Defender up to date? Is it running? Is it actually finding and discovering issues? And also when issues do get discovered, is it mitigating those issues and providing capabilities to mitigate issues that it can't on its own? So we're going to provide that visibility across the devices that they're managing, and hopefully be able to really see the value or further value in what we offer through Microsoft 365. The third element is user management. This is one place where we really want to kind of tune in on the set of steps it takes to perform actions on a particular user account. Again, I'm going to bring up that password reset. We want to make it really easy for the technician to go in, find the user that is blocked because their password has been forgotten, and be able to go in and change it and update on that user's behalf to get them unblocked so they can continue to work throughout the day. The other element around user management that we're focused on right now too is around risky behaviors that are happening around those user accounts. We want to bring visibility to the technician when a particular user account has risky behaviors that are occurring so that they are able to identify that user very quickly and be able to take the appropriate action, either to block the account or change the password to keep both the user and the SMB protected from a hack. The fourth story that we're concentrating a lot on is around customer insights. And this is where we really want to enable the technician and even the virtual CIOs within these MSPs to have a really good understanding about their individual customers, where they are on their journey, and how we can help drive additional adoption of both security best practices, manageability of the services and devices, and also the productivity workloads that are part of M365. Again, we want to be able to do this in a way that we can show the value of the services that we're providing to these SMBs and also the services that the partner is providing on behalf. Now, let's take a sneak peek at Microsoft 365 Lighthouse. going to switch over to my browser. And as you can see, I've already loaded the homepage of M365 Lighthouse. The Lighthouse homepage provides a comprehensive overview for the technician to understand how all the devices and services within M365 are running on behalf of all their customers. As you can see today, we have 3 informational cards that helps the technician understand device compliance and how Microsoft Defender is protecting the customer sites. Over time, we will expand out to show additional cards to be able to give greater visibility on the M365 services and devices that each MSP is managing on behalf of their customers. So first, let's walk through the device compliance card. The device compliance card provides the technician with a clear overview of how devices are being evaluated against policies that have been set by each organization. So here you can see that we still have quite a bit of work to do in order to get all the devices into a compliant state. As of today, we have 1,408 devices that are falling out of compliance out of the 2,162 devices that we're managing. We also get a very clear picture of the organizations that need the most work. For example, Atom Corporation and Southridge really haven't started their journey yet on device compliance policies. We'll get them there though. The next card that I want to walk you through is the Microsoft Defender antivirus threat landscape. This really provides the technician a clear overview of the threats that they've mitigated over the past period of time. For us here today, we have 93 of 131 threats mitigated in the past 638 days. We also have a clear understanding which organizations have been impacted. So I can see here that Cohort Vineyard has had 17 severe cases and 7 suspicious cases to deal with. The third card that I want to quickly walk you through is the Microsoft Defender Antivirus Protection Card. The goal of this card is to provide the technician a clear understanding which devices are protected or not protected with Microsoft Windows Defender. Here, you can see we have a lot of work to get Microsoft Defender deployed, with 414 not protected and 586 protected. And again, similar to our device policy card, we also have a by customer list. So we can see that, again, Atom Corporation is a little bit behind, and we have a bit of work there to get them into a good state. Now, before I move off the homepage, I do want to point out that we do have a first run experience to help guide you through setting up the portal. So we have very clear documentation on how to get additional customers onboarded into M365 Lighthouse. And in addition to that, getting Microsoft Intune set up and configured with the appropriate device compliance policies, and also getting the antivirus policies for threat management set up and configured to be able to start to surface the type of data that we're showing you today. Now that I've given you a good overview of the homepage, I'm going to jump in and show you the devices details page. I've gone ahead and clicked on devices, and what you can see here is a very clear device compliance overview. The first thing that might catch your eye is this compliance chart. The idea of this chart is to show you a trend over time how devices are getting evaluated against those policies that have been configured. The idea here is to help the technician to understand if there's been a significant change in how devices are getting evaluated at a given point in time, and allow them to go and do kind of forensics on why that change has occurred. Now, the second card that we're trying to help inform the technician with is around conditional access policies. So while it's important to have device policies set up and configured within the organizations, it's also good to safeguard those devices from accessing corporate resources through conditional policies and the safe evaluation of it. So today you can see 15 of the 17 tenants that we are managing don't have any conditional access policies enforced. on device compliance. That's probably something we're going to have to take a hard look at and get those other 15 companies engaged in using conditional access. We also provide a very detailed list by each organization on how their device compliancy posture looks. So similar like what we saw on the homepage, but we get more details on each organization. So the Atom Corporation has, again, 233 devices. We have a picture of how many are in a compliant state or not, and then the various states that they're configured at. Now, we can even go a little bit further and we can take a look at the devices. So here's a device view for the MSP, and it's going across all the devices that they're managing. So as you can see by the second column, these devices are being populated by various tenants, and then they can see the state of the device itself. So here we can see admin_18 at Wingtip Toys is in a not compliant state, and they could choose to go ahead and drill and take further action. Now, over time, we will expand out what this fly out pane provides, but in the meantime, I'll just go ahead and collapse it and give you a quick taste of what policies views that we're going to provide. So the intent here is for you to be able to clearly understand the various policies that you're managing across all your customer community, and then being able to understand how things are being evaluated against it. Now, today, we give you a very simplistic view. Going forward, we'll add additional capabilities to be able to do comparisons on policies, so that way you can clearly understand how one organization is configured against a different organization, and being able to drive consistency, which we really feel will help scale your business. Now, the next page I just want to quickly preview on is the threat management page. So this is the more drilled in overview page around threat management. Here, we're going to provide you with 5 cards that will provide additional details than what we were showing on the home page. Again, we're giving you the threat mitigation over time, across all the organizations you're managing. We're also going to give you active and suspicious threats that you have to go take a look at. We also provide, again, where you stand in terms of having 8B enabled on your devices, and also a state around the virus scans and which ones are overdue and which ones you need to take action on. And then lastly, providing a card to understand if Microsoft Defender is up to date. Over time, we will provide more detailed, in-depth views around specific devices and organizations, similar to what we've provided in the threat management page. And also, like I was sharing before with the epics, we'll go into further details around user management and customer insights as we continue to expand out this portal. But hopefully this has given you a good taste of what M365 Lighthouse is and where it's going. Thank you. There are a couple of key requirements that need to be fulfilled in order to take full advantage of M365 Lighthouse. The first is getting Microsoft Intune set up and configured. This involves enrolling all your customers' devices into Microsoft Intune and also setting up the appropriate policies. Second, you need to establish delegated access permissions for each of your customers with global admin permissions. Through DAP, we'll be able to access your customer sites, pull in the insights required for M365 Lighthouse, and also be able to apply the various settings across your customer sites.
Thanks, Chris. All right, let's bring that partner panel back up and see what they have to say about Microsoft 365 Lighthouse.
So I think the name of the game with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse is going to be efficiency. We have lots of simple but not easy everyday tasks that we're completing, and we have to log into so many different tenants across the day to just get the work done. So with a comprehensive tool that allows us to see into every tenant at one time, we're going to be cutting out all that front end time of logging in, and we're going to be able to automate those tasks.
What we're seeing is that Microsoft 365 Lighthouse will become our starting point for everything we do. I totally agree with Hope that once you can do everything policy-based and based over all the multi-tenants, is going to be a typical game changer, because up till then you were working per client and now you're not anymore. So, and what I also found very interesting is that when we started in the project, we were expecting certain things, but but you also see is that Microsoft's focus on security is completely different from the typical tools which we're using up till now. So it's also giving us a much more feature-rich environment to work within, having all the Microsoft tools and security around security as well.
Policies to make these changes, to implement security settings, to do these. It's huge for standardization.
As I mentioned before, Microsoft is designing Microsoft 365 Lighthouse with a different, more security-oriented perspective. And with all the knowledge and the comprehensive security features Microsoft has and also offers in the enterprise, which will help us slowly or gradually drop down to the SMB market space, we think it's going to be entirely different and gives us much more tools and insight, much better tools and insight to manage our customers properly and give them a secure environment. And having those right tools and the ability to standardize and automate gives us the power to scale.
Yeah, I'd say being able to see that one comprehensive tool, it allows us to better prioritize with threat management. We can see immediately if something's going on with a tenant, and we can prioritize our daily actions to meet that need.
Path, I think, again, the traditional way that we've managed security as an MSP has been a bit different. We focus primarily on looking at antivirus and making sure that a firewall functions properly and making sure the latest definitions are there. So again, being, I've said it before, but a game changer as far as having a consolidated view to see how a policy is applied and then how those devices are responding to the policy, and then also to be able to detect the threats that are occurring in one centralized console across multiple clients and customers. It's really a seamless view for us.
Hi, thanks for joining us today. To stay in the loop about Microsoft 365 Lighthouse developments, go to this link, aka.ms/Lighthouse Next Step. In closing, here are some resources about Microsoft 365 Business Premium and how to get involved in the small business tech community. Thanks again.